Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. Where before we fought for you all here on the map Hull Bay on the Western Front. It's a very unique map. I think this is from the campaign actually, well, the Soviet campaign. You have this like little train station with a town in the center. You have a little bit of a fortified position up here, and down here we have more fortified positions from the forest. We are on the Western Front though, and this is the conquest mode, so hopefully the battle will not take too long. Those are the Germans today defending. We have Orkan as the Wehrmacht, and we have A60 also as the Wehrmacht. Looks like the Wehrmacht and the Waffen-SS will be spread out here and split up. With the Waffen-SS over here in the north with Maverick, spread the with the Mechanized tactics, and Captain Curry as Storm tactics. I don't know what I was saying about 2EW being AFK. Yeah, he's clearly here. Representing the Allies today, we have a combined British and American force with Foxy as Royal Guard Regiment Straight Brigade, and Scipio as Americans without any command choice. On the southern flank, we have Crazy Man and NL also without a command choice from the Americans, and Vabrika also British combo. So lots of allied forces here pushing up into Western Germany late in the war. Germans are desperate trying to hold their line here instead of a defense. So there's some signs from mines here, but no mines have actually been laid. That's very misleading. Also a little bit of a tank trench here to prevent tanks from driving over. Very interesting looking at, but the Germans are quickly rushing some troops for the central town here to try and get some more conquest points. When we're in conquest mode, it's a lot about securing territory and holding it. Looks like both Wehrmacht players have gone for Panzerdivision. Okay, we might see a lot of heavy panzers later on if the Wehrmacht can hold on long enough to get their support with their reinforcements. And with the Waffen-SS supposed to make Mechanized and Sturm, we see if they can hold on here. Well, the Allies slowly moving up. Looks like Scipio's going for US Armored, I think. No, that might not be Scipio. Scipio's up here. He has US Armor and Guard on the northern flank for the Allied forces. No idea yet for the southern flank. So they've yet to pick their commanders. American riflemen already moving up, and the British are securing the fields around here. The German Grenadiers are trying to advance. Trying to fight against the American riflemen. But the American riflemen do have the better cover, but still they decide to pull back. More Americans on the flank here, sitting on a sandbag wall. They're trying to lure the Germans out into open ground. It's probably the wise move, as you can see. The M1 Garands just tear into them out in the open. So the Germans are sitting up inside the town, though, and fortifying with their Grenadier forces. British forces trying to lay an assault, though. Looks like Vabrika has also gone for Royal Guard. We have a lot of elite forces here from the British Commonwealth present. Lots of accurate rifle fire here. It looks like that Pioneer does not make it. And the Americans are having a firefight here with the German forces. You can see how long they last. The British forces are preparing to move, so we have double guard. That could be a lot of Churchills later on, potentially. Churchills are very commonly used by the Guard Regiment. In the north, the Guards also holding in. They've got the path where they get an extra man inside the rifle sections, which is a pretty big deal, actually. Like, having 6-man rifle sections is pretty nuts. That's a lot of... That's one extra Lee Enfield. That's a lot of extra firepower, to be honest, because the British are really damn good at using the Lee Enfields. Let's just get behind cover, though. They're out in the open there. Americans also trying to push up here. And the Americans have set up a machine gun down here. They are being pinned now by some rifle brigades from the Grenadiers. The Grenadiers are not really able to push up that well. Also, the Americans with this area are kind of well locked down. Again, the old rifle grenades to try and counter-fire the German ones. The machine gun back here is certainly going to help the United States hold the line. Up here, the British forces are having issues pushing across the open field, though. Looks like the Grenadiers are getting some good shots out. Just using the ability advantage here. Americans are trying to get some BARs though to provide some extra long-range firepower. Up in the northern flank, the loading volunteers were unable to really push up further, beating a British machine gun. I'm not sure which side is winning at the moment. Looks like... who's losing points? Was it even? No, the Germans are losing points. Actually, that's not the Germans, it's the Allies. The Allies are losing 1 point now, so if the Allies can push up a little bit further, though, they can stop that. But the Germans are still pushing down here, bringing down the MD-42 by the looks of it. And by some Panzer Grenadiers in their very dapper camouflage. German camouflage patterns are always so nice looking. Germans have a skill for setting up camouflage patterns on their uniforms somehow. Americans trying to flank this machine gun. Well, I think it might be able to do it. We just want to try to rush up there for grenades. They got close enough, they're tossing a pineapple. Having issues tossing it though. That happens sometimes, it's a bug. Doesn't matter though, the machine gun manages to run away. And the Germans are assaulting down here pretty damn well actually. The Grenadiers with the MT-42 for support is doing a lot of work. And they're actually hurting the Americans pretty damn bad. And this MT-42 is taking out a lot of firepower. And the Americans have to pull back, they cannot hold that position. Crazy managed yet to pick their commander though. These forces starting to be equipped with some Bren guns. That was pushing up over here. Sturmgewehrs being handed here to the Wallonian volunteers. The SS is ready to try and assault the Allied position soon. At least they will assume that. Sturmgewehrs is a pretty damn good upgrade in Spearhead. Can do a lot of fire. Can do a lot of damage. And most ranges too, making it a very efficient weapon. Keep arriving here for the United States, laying down some 30 caliber firepower. There is a Panzerbüchse inside the structure though. And they already got shots in the Jeep. Jeep is immobilized. It's basically a dead target now, and indeed it is. And the Grenadiers are holding on this building pretty damn well, using all the windows and all the angles to their advantage. Balloons pushing up here. Very aggressive volunteers from the Netherlands and Belgium. I mean, mostly from the part of Belgium called Wallonia, I think, to be specific, which is, I think, the Dutch-speaking part? No, that might be Flanders. I think Wallonia is the French-speaking part. Because Flanders, I'm pretty sure, is the Dutch-speaking part. I'm not really that expert on the geography of Belgium, to be honest. But I'm pretty confident that I'm correct here in that assessment. They are from the French-speaking part of Belgium. Also, some Spanish fascists, I think, were also part of it. Because the United States and the southern flank has gone for US rifle, probably to try and recuperate their losses a little bit. The Brits are getting out more equipment, including the Irish Guard. The Irish Guard division is now present. Assault infantry available to the Guard commanders. Thing is being destroyed. What though? But the British and American forces are slowly being pushed back by the Germans, as the Germans are securing more territory. The Allies really need to do something to turn this around. American border has arrived. Savo got killed before they could finish their headquarters. The Wallonians are being very efficient in assault infantry here. American mortar is now opening fire though. We also have some American armored riflemen arriving here. Specialized in supporting vehicles. They are lacking a vehicle to support though. Despite that, they're still pretty decent riflemen at their job. Able to do a lot of work for themselves. And just doing their best to hold behind here as they're being pinned down by British machine gun fire. The dual Grenadiers now arriving, Panzer Grenadiers, including a Panzer II Lux, overseeing the front line with an autocannon. As well as a Leutnant without his vehicle. Irish Guards being pinned down by the Panzer II. Have to pull out of that. We also have an American recon team here. Doing their best to try and help hold the line. Also, we have some kind of airstrike here from the Luftwaffe. It looks like the Luftwaffe is somehow able to conduct air operations today. Göring got off his fat ass and off his drugs for once. Wonder how long that'll last. Panzer II is doing a lot of work here for the Germans, however. And the Grenadiers getting back into positions. Lots of MG-24s being handed out to the squads. Here's one with some carbines moving up to help hold the line. Here's not being intent to being frontline personnel. as the name implies, they're kind of into all the support personnel behind the lines for the infantry. Like clerks, cooks, I believe lawyers as well, like lots of weird things. The American Army had a lot of bureaucracy behind it back then, with lots of personnel to support all the operations of it. Near the front line, all the services that the Americans would require while near the front line. We're rushing in there from the Vallonians, but it's not going to help them. There's just not a lot of cover here for them. Next Vallonian wave being prepared. Panzer II's doing a good job holding, but it has taken some hits from something. Smoke rush being dropped, looks like it's an American AT gun. Americans are trying to apply pressure down here, but looks like the Grenadiers able to hold them off for the moment, using a scope Sturmgewehr to their advantage now. Which I believe is a unique upgrade for your Grenadiers if you're playing as Panzer Division, giving you a long range marksman Sturmgewehr basically. Only one weapon compared to several others if you're playing or using many of the other weapons. You get in and you get two of them, so you just get one instead. Pretty expensive too, I think. Just 60 munition for a single gun. That is pretty big. Pretty hefty investment for one guy. Bren guns opening fire here. Also the Irish Guards on the move. Let me equip with some Sten guns. Can we move up easily here? Infantry to inside the structure, trying to keep the British forces at bay. The Blodens are making it very hard for the Americans to push up this way. It feels as if the Allies need to invest in getting some vehicles out. We do have a strict command tank coming out here for US armored forces. Will that be enough? There's an A2 Sherman coming out for the rifle company. That might certainly be enough on their flank. We also have fortified with a bunker here. They've also have a flag emplacement back here. Panzer 4 F1 on the field. British force have brought up a tank on the section. Piet overshot. We need to get this Piet aligned. Oh, Piet missed. Very close hit though. Almost did the thing. So we're hitting the American positions. The Americans can't really push up here with all the flak guns and the bunkers and everything. British force also rolling up a AT gun here. Here comes the American A2 Sherman. This thing can certainly do some damage. We'll be able to cause a lot of issues here for the Germans if it's used correctly. I'll probably safely swap to high explosive rounds because I don't think the Germans have much armor down here. This thing can become a breakthrough vehicle. Hackers also coming out for the Allied forces. Americans are trying to push through the smoke here. Great assault here from the Grenadiers. The Panzer Grenadiers to be specific. Forcing the Allies off that point. Okay, we have an artillery striking the British positions. High explosive barrage of some kind. Doesn't do too much damage, but it does suppress them. Panzer II meanwhile keeps an eye on the front line there. Panzer Grenadiers have been pushed back in the center. We're going to stop being equipped with high explosive round yet. Probably safe to swap to it, to be honest. Yeah, it is swapping to high explosive rounds now. Which will certainly make it a lot more effective. What they're dealing with here. Overshot though, didn't hit that bunker. Overshot again. It's not easy to hit a bunker, evidently. Despite being a very static target. And a good shot. You can see that did a good bit of damage to it. We need to keep hitting with a few more of those. Panzer 4 F1 gets cleared out there, probably by the AT gun. Irish Guards are pressed on the front line again. We also have the Black Watch arriving on the front line here. Another elite regiment. I think this is a... what are they called again? Battle group calling? Yeah, Black Watch Highlanders. These are Scotsmen, or well, Highlanders to just be specific. Very good long-range infantry, I think, arriving with a marksman rifle. We also have an American plane flying overhead, giving the Allies a little bit of an idea what's going on. The Sherman is doing his job here. The Vincent Campbell observation stock is arriving. Hold on, an artillery strike in the American positions. This is some high artillery strikes, so higher caliber. Allied forces trying to push up here again. But Germans are able to get them at bay and calling in more artillery strikes. More than placement as specified here by the British forces. Let's see if that'll help them to any extent. Allies are still losing points. So they're hitting it up near the Black Watch. Islanders doing their best to try and hold the line. I don't think that officer wants to be there, yeah. Black Watch took him out pretty quick. Black Watch are pretty good long distance infantry. Able to really win out in long range engagements. So I think it's the idea behind them. They're meant to be some of the best in long range combat. They're doing a pretty good job of it so far. But more artillery is being called in. We have a truck nearby allowing the British to replenish nearby. Artillery is pinning them down to the ground though. But they are behind cover. They should be able to recover fairly swiftly. More artillery hitting the Allied front line. The Allies are somewhat being pinned down here. Pack took out the cover, one squad. They might want to pull that squad back. It's out in the open now, and they're vulnerable. Also a British major, I think. Have you have a guard major arriving here? Trying to see what he can do to solve the situation here for King and Country. Looking forward to here manned by some Storm Pioneers, or just Pioneers actually. Also another A2 Sherman arriving here for the United States. Several A2 Shermans assigned to road here for the US Armored Company. Good to see. They need to do to push through, I think. Probably safety sweep to high explosives, but it isn't. Artillery landing in this structure. Building is on fire. It's going to deny the structure to the Germans, but also the Allies if they ever push up. Irish guards bolted over. They probably intend to push off a little bit if they can. There's an MG hiding back here. Yeah, quickly opening fire on the Irish troops. Forced them to pull back. Having an Austin on the southern flank here now, keep an eye on things. Looks like the A2 did get destroyed down here. The Allied forces are still trying to push up. Not an easy approach for them though. There's a Fort headquarters back here. We do have an ambulance nearby. Lots of artillery strikes. What are the Allied forces planning to do? The Germans are just digging in the best they can, which is really all they expect to do at this point because they hold the majority of the points. They are getting a Panzer IV J now out now. Let's see random artillery shells. Got Panzer IV H in the field, as well as a Major, keeping an eye on the front line as well. Black Watch is securing this point, and they do it pretty damn fast. So they're using breakthrough tactics, which allows them to decapture points pretty fast. You know, it's the one of the abilities from the British Major, you know? Actually just from their commander, I think. Allows the Allies to get a little bit more resource to work with. But I think they're still losing points. Well, they might actually come to a stalemate now. Yeah, neither side is losing points now, I think. So they seem to get to a stalemate because this point up here is decaptured. Now neither side is winning. And an artillery strike landing here around the German forces. So an artillery strike here. Just basic howitzers. Looks like the strike here might have been fake. 17-pounder being set up here by the British forces. It's being set up pretty close to the front line, though. So Germans know it's happening, and they're already targeting it down. It's very vulnerable while it's being set up. Artillery landing here in the British positions. Oh, landing right on the Irish Guard. And the Germans are not really able to really push up. Panzer II command tanks leading an assault. Being quite aggressive with those autocannons. Allied force have to pull back a little bit again. Need to figure out how to push through. And he is advancing. A little bit riskier than to do, but it seems like it's working out at the moment. Transport J supports them. British force getting back into the line. Black Watch ready for action. They're being hit by a lot of autocannons. How really the job the Black Watch intended for dealing with vehicles. Oh, Piet hits the command tank! God damn, good shot! They get killed in return, though. They're not an airstrike or at least a recon run. And the Allies a little bit more intel on the front line. Artillery landing on the British positions. We have a Churchill coming out here for the British forces. Oh, that sounds like naval buffers. Oh, that's bad. Oh, except I don't think they lost that many squads. That could have been far, far worse. That could have been far, far worse. The Germans do get some more terrain. And he's pushing up over here. Double lighthouse here for the German forces as well. This will bring up a lot of light artillery. Certainly working out for them, I think. Yeah, the Allies are being shelled. We also got the Welsh Guard. Damn. I see a lot of unique guard forces here. I think these guys are also specialized in long-range combat, but they can be equipped with an AT rifle. Also in one Garand if they want. Let me see all the variety of guard regiments. Churchill, Crocodile's been prepared. Let's see if that can change the fight. The Americans of the southern flank are just being shelled to hell too. We also have some Großdeutschland Panzergrenadiers on the field now. From the Großdeutschland Panzer Division. They're very elite forces. Recruited from all over Germany, I think. Than compared to region specific, because generally the Germans recruited units directly from specific regions of Germany to help with unit cohesion and culture. But I believe the Großdeutschland recruited from all across Germany, which is why they're fairly unique in that aspect. And he is advancing, and the Panzer IV command tank is supporting them as well. I don't think the Allies can hold much longer. They're just being shelled too much. It's allowing the Grenadiers to just advance.
The squad's gone.
Here comes the command tank again using high explosive rounds because it's from Sturm. Getting at the mortar pit. The balloon is also advancing here alongside a Sturm officer, or Sturmführer, I mean. Using a grenade pistol. German fighting down here. We have a Churchill running here, a Churchill Mark 7. Pretty heavily armored. One of the most heavily armored Allied vehicles apart from the IS-2. Similar here with the Churchill 7 Crocodile, where instead of a machine gun, it has a flamethrower. We'll see if that'll be enough to save them. As the Germans are quickly securing territory. Quickly spreading out and securing everything they can as the Allies are somewhat trying to find a way to recuperate. So operations not really gone the way they intended. Panzer just found an MP42 on the ground. They now have 2 machine guns, but they're still being mowed to pieces out here in the open. Churchill's not ready to advance. Now the Churchill is about to engage. Churchill does need to get a little bit closer, I reckon, because its gun is pretty mediocre despite its size. It has good armor and good rate of fire, but the gun's penetration rate is relatively minor compared to other heavy vehicles or heavy tanks. We have an airstrike coming in here on it. It's a Stuka! Oh no. Doesn't hit it though. Churchill's basically fine. Looks like the flame. Churchill got destroyed here by Panzerfaust. Missed that. This Churchill has a lot of work cut out for it then. The closer the Churchill gets, the higher chance it will have to just penetrate, but it's also being penetrated in return. It does take out the observation stock. Hits the Panzer IV. Gonna injured though. Oh, and then it gets taken out by the pack. Actually, I think that was actually the Panzer IV. That's not good for the Allied forces losing the churches like that. It's gonna allow the Germans to just basically overrun this front line up here. The British just don't have anything left to stop them with. Now there's also a heavy howitzer here. So that's the Immergrün. It's up here by the Sturm officer, Sturm forces. The largest howitzer the Germans can build on the front line, I think. Looks like the Germans had this pretty well under control.
Sherman ready to go.
We do have a sexton here arriving for the British forces, but they've lost so many units. At this point, I don't really see how they can make a comeback. The Allies are just suffering heavy losses. Like all these Sturmgewehrs for the Sturm tactics is just overpowering. It's very hard for the Allied force to really do anything against it. Not the proper tank support, but the tanks are just being destroyed. Light force is being used on the German front line down here. Americans are trying to make a push. Light force hits right in the pack though. Panzerfaust on the Sherman though, and pack clears it out there. And the Allies are just suffering too many losses, they can't really push through. Allies have been pushed back to this fort headquarters here, and the Germans just killing them by using the officers, which I really think should be changed to be like Spearhead. The officers stand still and actually call it in, rather than just it's an instant call-in. I feel the instant call-in just means you push those officers up too much. And just do this, like you call in a strike and then you pull back. Which I personally don't think is that good gameplay. He's in trouble there. Panzer IV has got sights on it. Doesn't have the Shermans targeting the infantry first. Hopefully that Sherman's gonna last much longer. Panzer IV so far is missing. It is only an A2 Sherman, so it doesn't really have the penetrative power at this range. There's also flanking up there, hitting the Stutt command tank. I have 2 guns also pushing up here now. Let's get some shots in. Okay, they both get cleared out. I think this match is pretty much in Germany's hands at this point. Most of the Germans have this under control. We also have a Storm Tiger coming in behind us, so that will certainly be the final nail in the coffin. As the Allies don't really have anything that can stop all this with. They're doing their best though, but they just don't have the resources. Or the units.
We just lost a unit.
Let's just keep advancing. I really feel this is almost over at this point. They surrender at this point. Understandable. Well played from the Germans though, holding the town here, and then just waiting to whittle down the Allied forces, and then win out that way. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye bye.